Before we stand for Pledge of Allegiance, just noting that Mr. Donato is not here tonight, and Mr. Graham, can you please confirm that Mr. Garber is online by way of Zoom? Confirmed. Thank you. So we have 8 attendees to the meeting. With that, if you'll all please join me in standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to announce that the board met in executive session prior to this meeting to discuss 2 legal matters and 3 personnel and contractual matters. Moving ahead to board approvals, I'd like a motion, please, to approve the agenda for August 12th, regular board meeting, incorporating additions and deletions. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
So moved, Mrs. Johnston. Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Keener. Thank you. Any discussion?
Yes, just one note. Earlier today, I put on down in item 11H. We received updated allocation numbers from the state, even though what was on the agenda was noted as just preliminary allocations. I just wanted to provide an accurate update as Dr. Dandridge is continuing to work on the federal programs application. So there was no change to the initial information that was put. It was just adding some additional information. So you'll see that it was noted as of 8/12. That's the new allocations that we're working off of. And I'll get more to that later.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Bermirski. Anyone else? Any discussion? With that, all in favor? Mr. Garber? Yes. All in favor, motion carries 8-0. Moving along to approve the minutes as presented for the regular school board meeting held last month on July 8th, as well as minutes of the Buildings and Grounds Finance Committee that was held last month as well on July 29th. Do I have a motion to approve, please?
Motion.
Thank you, Mrs. Brady. Second?
Second.
Second, Mrs. Johnston. Thank you. Any discussion on this? Hearing none. All in favor? Mr. Garber's a yes. That carries 8-0 as well. Moving ahead to recognitions for student and staff recognitions. There are none, to my knowledge, as well as student council. It looks like there's some empty seats there, so I will go ahead and move ahead to residents' request to address the board. We do have 2 requests to address the board this evening. The board provides a time of public comment for residents and taxpayers to bring their thoughts to the board, but it's not a time for exchange between the board, administration, and speaker. We ask that speakers refrain from identifying specific students, staff, or community members by name. Residents and taxpayers who are interested in making public comments must complete the electronic registration form prior to 3 p.m. on the day of the meeting. With that, Mr. Graham, I will turn over the mic to you.
Our first speaker this evening is Makai Williams, who will be followed by Danielle Lutz.
Hello, everyone. My name is Makai Williams, and I'm a proud 2022 Hempfield graduate. Recently, I was invited to speak at and participate in the Rise Above Youth Mental Health Summit, hosted by the Touchstone Foundation and the PA Youth Advocacy Network, to talk about my work to address student mental health in Pennsylvania. At the conclusion of my remarks, I was met with a question by a current Hempfield student. How do you make change in your school? I feel like Hempfield doesn't care. Mental health is talked about a little in health class, but that's it. That question has not left my mind. As a former student and member of student government, I am outraged. I remember vividly 3 years ago, sitting in a student council meeting with my peers crying. I've watched my teachers cry because they wish they could do more for their students. That pain led to the creation of a social and emotional task force. That task force, made up of community members, educators, and experts, recommended the district add 1 social worker, 3 school counselors, 1 security officer, 1 school resource officer, and 2 school psychologists. Just under $1 million in positions to actually support our students. It has been 3 years. only one mental health support position has been filled. One. In the original discussion, only 4 of the 8 positions were budgeted for. It took nearly 3 years for 3 of those 4 to be hired, and 2 of them were security positions. 1 out of the 8 positions recommended, 3 have been hired. Only 1 directly supports student mental health, a single social worker for an entire district of thousands. Meanwhile, one board member publicly said, quote, we have much greater needs in the district from a financial standpoint that, in my opinion, take priority over this, positions that I don't see a direct need for, end quote. Well, let me make that direct. We have lost a beloved teacher, Mrs. Hunter. We lost a teacher to suicide. These resources are not just for students, they are for staff too. We cannot continue to act like everything is fine in our district when something doesn't go the right way. People do and will find out. Silence does not protect our reputation, it erodes trust. I told that student at the summit she should come here and speak to you tonight. But I decided I would be her voice, a voice for students past, present, and future. Because here's the truth. Students are suffering and our staff is burning out. We cannot keep asking teachers to be social workers, mental health counselors, crisis responders, and educators all at once. We cannot keep pretending that security and mental health are interchangeable needs. We know what needs to be done, and we've known for years, for 3 years. These recommendations are there. The budget allocations have been made, but action, it's still lacking. Every day we delay, another student struggles alone, another teacher breaks down in private, another parent worries about sending their child to school. This is not just a budget line, it's about the lives of the people who walk through our doors every morning. So I'm here to say enough delays, enough excuses. The plan was created, the funds were allocated, the need is urgent. Let's follow through fully on the recommendations your own task force made. Because if we truly believe in preparing students for the future, then we have to keep them healthy enough to have one. And on a personal note, during junior year of high school, during football practice, I fell to the ground to look down and see my kneecap on the side of my leg. I shredded my knee completely, and after 2 surgeries and months of rehab, learning how to walk and run again, I struggled with my mental health deeply. The depression and anxiety were suffocating, and I didn't see a light at the end of the tunnel. I needed help, and I looked for those resources in school, and I couldn't find them. I was failed. We're failing our students now. So to this board, it's time to act with urgency and fill these positions. Thank you.
Danielle Lutz.
Hello, our names are Danielle Lutz,
Alyssa Schreiner, and Caroline Barrier.
and we are members of the Hempfield Dance Team. We are here today to discuss the lack of funding for the Hempfield Dance Team. We are aware that the budget is set for this year. However, we would still like to bring awareness towards funding for the dance team in the future years. Our intention is that this funding would go towards pay for our coach, along with other team-related costs such as proper uniforms. We all greatly value our coach and believe that she is not being fairly compensated for her work. Before we continue, we would like to add that we are so thankful for the opportunities given to us by the school district. Last year, it was completely understandable that we did not have any funding whatsoever. We were just established that year and nobody even knew if we were going to be successful or not. In contrast, this year we have become much more established in the Hempfield sports community. Not only have we performed at the home games for both the girls and boys basketball teams, but we also perform for the school faculty and student at school events. This year, we are even performing at the first week of the school pep rally. Furthermore, we were featured in the local Hempfield Merchandiser this past summer. We are socially and physically considered a Hempfield sports team, and we would like to be treated as such by the district.
In order for us to participate in dance team, we have to meet the same physical requirements as the winter cheerleaders. We have similar practice schedules and perform just as much at games, even joining in on their cheers in the stands. As a dance team, we're put under the category of cheerleaders rather than being our own club, which is perfectly fine. We love working with the winter cheerleaders, and we are so grateful to connect and collaborate together at games. The issue we have with this is that the winter cheer team is provided with funding and compensation for their coaches, and ours is not. In contrast, she receives no pay for her time and effort and all that she gives us, and we receive no funding for the team.
While we understand the difficulty of providing funds, especially in a district with as many opportunities as we have, we would greatly appreciate your consideration towards providing us with funds and compensation. We feel that it's unfair to ask the dance team to be up to the standards of other athletic teams or other Hempfield representatives without being given any funding at all. Ideally, we would like the funding to be in a similar range aligned with the winter cheerleaders, but we understand that this can be a lot to ask for considering we are such a new team, so any and all funding would be beneficial. Looking forward, no matter what happens, we will still continue to fundraise like we did last year in the past to help cut costs and support ourselves, and as well as the funding would help that. And even if our requests cannot be met, we would still be happy to continue going on as we have been. We would just like to request for this funding. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Graham. Thank you to the speakers. Moving ahead to the superintendent's report. Mr. Bumirski, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you. We are excited to getting ready to welcome our students back on the 20th. So just to kind of recap, first and foremost, a big shout out to our maintenance and custodial teams. They've been working really hard getting our buildings ready, as well as all of the work that's been done through roofing and paving and all kinds of summer work that Mrs. James has shared with you and that her and her team have been working on. In addition to that, all of our 12-month staff have been working hard to transition from last year to this year as we get ready to welcome everybody back. We did kick off our leadership week last Tuesday and Wednesday, welcoming our leaders back and getting ready for the upcoming year. We welcomed our new teachers yesterday. They're with us for 3 days before all of our staff start on the 14th. Our district-wide kickoff is coming up on Monday, the 18th. You got all this from me at the end of last week, I think, or on Saturday, whatever day I sent it. One thing that we are excited to continue from last year is our step-up day for our 9th graders, but we're just as equally excited for our 7th graders because they also now have a step-up day to come in prior to transitioning to either the middle school or high school. So it's a great event. We're looking forward to that. All of our sneak peeks for our elementary buildings are on the 19th. So there's a lot going on right now in the district. We will kick off our first day with the students on the 20th, and our kindergartners will spend the first day with us without parents on the 21st. And that also includes some of our kindergartners who will be with us all day in all of our elementary buildings, which is exciting. So there's a lot going on. So it's certainly a busy time. Also want to give you an update on federal programming and federal dollars. Dr. Dandridge has been working really hard on the federal programs application. Even got to the point where he had everything completed and I was ready to submit and sign off on everything, only to get an email from the state saying you're getting it all back. You have to now redo everything, including Titles 2, 3, and 4, because the federal government is releasing those funds to school districts. But just a reminder, you can't expend those funds until you submit your application, which means Dr. Dandridge has been working well beyond overtime, as many others here are doing, to get this done prior to the start of school so that we can begin expending those funds from day one. Because there is no retroactivity at this point that we're being made aware of. So that is coming. What you see in the agenda that you'll be approving tonight is just the approval to submit all of those requirements. The first set of dollars was the preliminary allocation that we received. The second set of dollars that you see there, once they realized we are not Hempfield area, as Dr. Dandridge had to work through that with the state, are the new dollars that we're working off of. So you'll see that some are an increase and some are a slight decrease. Overall, it's still in the same ballpark. So once that gets submitted, we will then continue to work through the process with PDE to make sure we get those dollars. So good news all around. Just wish it would have happened a little sooner.
So this is the 300,000 we talked about?
This is the 305 ballpark, $305,000.
So we should get that.
Coming our way.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. So good news on that. Any questions on the school side, district update piece, other than I did forget student schedules, all the transportation pieces went out on the 8th. So if there are any questions, people need to be following up with either the buildings, if they have transportation questions. We have 2 people in our transportation department, so they're quite busy this time of year. So leave a message, they will get back to you. Anything else there? Great. The other part, I just want to follow up on, we've been working on gathering some information, talking to some individuals to try and get a better understanding of kind of what it potentially could look like should collectively the board want to move down a path around a capital campaign. You did receive a beginning stage draft policy for you to think about. More conversations will occur as we move forward at other subsequent meetings or policy meetings. But tonight, I did just want to share a little bit of information that was able to be gathered. The important part of thinking about this is to remember that there are different lanes when it comes to looking at contributions. And so whether it's through the Education Foundation, whether it's through Market Street, whether it's through naming rights, whether it's through on a much larger scale of trying to just ascertain donations or collections. What we are hearing and things that we need to be thinking about is this really needs to be targeted, really needs to be focused, really needs to be with the understanding that this is a long process. This is not something that you try to speed up. I believe the analogy that was used in a conversation that we were part of today was think about this as a slow cooker versus a microwave. You don't want to speed things up too fast because you're going to misstep and it's not going to work. It's really about developing relationships. It's about developing those relationships over time and looking at where is the potential need versus where is a potential donor and finding the right match. It is important to have someone internally to really kind of keep things moving from a district standpoint, but it's just as equally important to think about a balance on a scale. You need an external consultant to be kind of driving this, really pushing this and kind of helping the district along. So it really kind of works in tandem. While it's challenging from a public school standpoint, it's not unattainable. It's just we need to be thoughtful. And so some of the initial thinking or some things that we'll be kind of talking through and gathering more information about with the ultimate goal of bringing to you as a board an educational session or an opportunity just to kind of learn more of the basics or level setting expectations, if you will. It is not going to be about how do we do this or what's the first step, and it really is just kind of understanding the big picture with this. Some things for the district to think about collectively is where is the focus or the need or the lasting legacy, if you will, when you think about spaces or you think about programs that are in the district. What are those programs that people want to see continue time and time again for not only what people have received in the past, but current students and also future students? And it is more probably thinking around targeting specific spaces versus that notion of, hey, like, let's just do, in a sense, like a GoFundMe, if you will, like, let's see how much we can raise by, small dollars. That's what we're hearing at this point. That's not really the avenue that is going to be successful for public schools because of how public schools are funded. So in the end, we do have the draft policy. We can engage in some discussion tonight. We will be looking to schedule an informational session in the coming weeks, just to kind of get started on just level setting thoughts and expectations. And then where do we go from there will be a future conversation. But what I wanted to just kind of open up tonight was just if there were any thoughts, any questions. I know Mr. Keener and I have been talking about this as he's also been gathering some information. But before I jump there, I want to turn to Mr. Keener. Is there anything else that you wanted to add in?
No, thank you, Mr. Bomerski. And yes, Mr. Bomerski and I had a very informative hour-and-a-half long meeting today with a prominent development consultant here in Lancaster. And I learned a great deal about this. And I think that this individual is going to be willing to come back and do an educational session for the board as a whole. And I think that I'm confident in saying that everyone on the board will find that to be most informative. What struck me was, I think the same thing that struck Mr. Bomerski is that a successful capital campaign around a project like ours doesn't focus on naming everything. It doesn't focus on a lot of small dollar gifts. Is you pick 5 or 10 things in the facility or on the campus that prominent members of the community, affluent individuals can relate to, and then cultivate over a period of months and years, cultivate a relationship with those individuals and get them excited about the potential for supporting it. I mean, obviously, this is all very preliminary. I will say at this point only that I was very excited to hear what this individual sees as the upside potential of this project. And that I think that he thinks that there is a real potential for this to be a difference-making initiative in terms of funding the high school, supporting programming, really doing whatever this board decides are institutional priorities.
I think the only other piece, just to add to, there is the perception, that the public schools do have their financial lifelines, but what we are experiencing firsthand, like other organizations, we still don't have a state budget. We still don't know what we're going to get from the state. Federal program dollars, we did just learn we're going to get, but we didn't think we would be getting them through the summer. And so it's starting to come into more uncertainty when it comes to public school funding. And so it is something that I think would be worthwhile to explore from an educational standpoint to start and be able to think about and ask those questions as we really work to decide if this is ultimately something we want to do or not. But with that, I know you did get to see some initial thoughts of a draft policy. It doesn't mean that's how it'll be. And then any other questions or thoughts that people may have.
Do we have any public schools in Pennsylvania that have been successful doing this? And do we have any examples that we could go off of? Because obviously, if nobody else has done it, I'm concerned, is it going to really work for us? But do we have any examples?
So there are some. I think the first piece is you have to decide what is your measure of success. And for every entity, that's different in what they're looking for. So some have tried it. As to the level of the success, we're trying to gather some of that information as to how they felt it went. And did it reach ultimate goals, or was it a start? So those are some things we're trying to gather from not only school districts, but also other entities locally, because you also have to be aware of other organizations within our attendance area that are also trying similar things, because then you have competing priorities with potential donors and relationships. So.
To piggyback Mr. Maris, and if you don't have an answer, that's okay, but this meeting that you had with this prominent development professional, did they give any insight or any examples as to the success they've had, as that's defined individually by each project they worked on? But did they give any examples of what that could look like?
Yeah, like about 2 or 3 pages worth of 7 and 8 figure campaigns that they organized.
For high schools?
Not
No, for a variety of nonprofit
Got
causes,
it, correct.
including some educational institutions.
Okay.
And yeah,
Did they give any indication? Obviously, the learning session is going to be no doubt a fun one, an insightful one. But did they give any warnings or potential pitfalls of or here's it's easy with this group of people, like it's easy for hospitals, it's tougher for schools? Like, did they give examples of different organizations where it's tougher, easier to raise money?
It really comes down to understanding the message and understanding really the intent and where are you trying to go.
Yeah.
And then it is trying to find the right people, because optically there are some who feel like, for example, schools, I already pay taxes, I'm already giving, I shouldn't have to give more. And so that's a piece that schools have to overcome, and that's where it's trying to think about the long-lasting programs or the greater impact that programs have that people want to see maintained to a certain level. So those are pieces that kind of touched on a little bit, but there's a lot of investment on the front end about really understanding why you're doing it, what's its purpose, and what is really the focus. And to Mr. Maris's question, what do you want to see from a success standpoint? and making sure that there's an understanding of that, that we don't have either unstated expectations or just really too lofty of expectations that just, the reality is just not going to happen.
Yeah, this is a marathon, not a sprint.
Well, I think this started because of the high school and the big price tag. Could we raise a little money towards the high school, right? Isn't this how this all started? So obviously some money towards our new high school project would be a success.
Yeah.
That,
Yeah, and absolutely.
okay.
Does anyone, all of you have a copy of the first run through of policy 7011? I guess, Mr. Wagner, Mrs. Eshelman and I went through it. And then I took the conversations from our meeting, some of the thoughts that were expressed there, tried to memorialize them. Does anyone have any comments or questions about that first early draft?
I think the only comment that I would have is that I'm wondering if we're putting the cart before the horse with trying to frame a policy around something we're not sure we're going to pursue. And I see the logic of doing it before you pursue it so that it's formed. But if we don't know if we haven't yet determined our big picture of our goals, I think it's hard to craft the language specifically enough at this stage. So I think that's my concern.
Okay,
is no wording particularly, but
No,
I'm just
that's
wondering if we're just ahead of
that's a fair
things.
point. And I don't know, given that this is a marathon and not a sprint, it seems unlikely that someone's going to be coming to us in 10 days and
Right.
saying, here is $4 million. I would like to name the Performing Arts Center. And then us being like, well, what mechanism do we have to consider that gift?
Right.
But I think we need to think about at some point, if we go down this path, we are going to have a mechanism.
Agreed.
So I almost see this, Mrs. Brady, proceeding in parallel. Like we continue to learn more about the process, decide at a strategic level if it's something we want to do, while we are exploring policy language that we may or may not ever implement.
Right, and I
Yeah.
think exploring it is fine. I'm not
Yeah.
sure that we want to, but let's put it in the slow cooker and not the microwave, is, to have it mesh with where we're going, both of them at the same time, that it fits our need at the end.
Other comments about the draft language? Any?
No comments. I'm just in favor of continuing to explore our options related to this.
I am too, for what it's worth. Yeah, I think it's good discussion. I really want to meet with the development professional and kind of just listen to some things. If
Yeah.
you found it insightful and
Yeah,
enlightening, I want to hear it too.
I've been in a lot of meetings with people who know a lot more than I do about things, try to get me excited about them, and often that I don't get excited. I came out of this meeting feeling very good about wanting to learn more about this process.
Did you say a date?
No,
No.
not yet.
I'll be hearing back from the individual, and then we'll be working to find a date that will work to do an informational session for you to be able to listen and ask questions. Obviously not deliberate, but just to hear and learn more. Okay. If there's nothing else, I just want to draw your attention to the calendar of events. And the enrollment report for August is attached. And we will see lots of changes over the next few weeks with that coming into the September and then October final number that we use with the state. So with that, I'll turn it over to Mr. Wagner for the president's report.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Bermirski, and also for the discussion around what you learned today. It's pretty cool stuff. I look forward to hearing more. As it relates to the president's report, neither Mr. Donato nor I have anything for tonight in terms of updates. So I'll go ahead and move forward to the representative and adjunct reports, starting with Lancaster County Career and Technology Center. Mr. Keener.
Thank you, Mr. Wagner.
Yes,
The Joint Operating Committee does not meet in July, therefore I have nothing new to report. The next meeting will be August 28th at Brownstown.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Keener. IU 13, Mr. Maris.
Same with the IU. They did not meet in July. We are meeting tomorrow evening at the Lebanon IU Center, which
Very
I
good.
will be attending.
Thank you, Mr. Maris. Must be the summertime. Hempfield Rec Center, Mrs. Brady.
It is summertime, and so a lot of the projects that are big items at the rec center are being begun and will be completed over the next couple of weeks. Some of the plumbing piping issues needed to be repaired, but couldn't happen until after pool season. There was some interior, what do I want to say? Strut support work that needs to be repaired. I'm waiting until this week's Kozer Classic was over to access those courts. That said, Kozer Classics this week, always a big event for the rec center, but all looks good. They've had a good summer.
Thank you, Mrs. Brady. Safety and Security, Mr. Garber.
Nothing new to report other than we approved this Centritrix contract last meeting, and there'll be more to that in September.
Very good. Thank you, sir. PSBA, Mrs. Eshelman.
Yeah, just that in board notes, it was noted that I guess it's the PSBA conference and the PASA are combined this year. That'll be happening at the end of October. I wasn't able to attend last year as the PSBA liaison, but I'm going to try to attend this year. I know Mr. Keener is going to be able to attend part of it. And we're also going to participate in the delegate assembly, which I was able to participate in last year via Zoom, which was interesting to work with everybody across the state on school boards. And the actual leadership conference, our superintendent will be presenting. I also saw some local educators from around the county, administrators, Millersville University professor. So I'm really excited about that, but also learning from people around the state as well, but also need to see our local community there as well.
And Mrs. Eshelman, am I correct? You're still looking for one more delegate if there is someone from one of our colleagues who's able to.
You're able to
to
have
join
three,
us.
a school district's able to have three, yes. And I think I also attended another school board meeting for another district close to us, and they discussed sending representatives for not only the delegate portion, but also just the conference in general for people to learn about their position on a school board. So if anyone's interested, let the administration know.
Yep. Either let Carissa or myself know, and we'll get you registered.
I go up and attend the school law workshop at this every year and find it to be incredibly helpful. There's also, as Mrs. Eshelman said, wonderful opportunities to interact with board members from other districts from around the Commonwealth. So if anyone else is available, I would urge you to let Mrs. Rhodes know and to come up. It is worthwhile.
Thanks for selling it, Mr. Keener. Come with us.
Very good. Thank you, Mrs. Eshelman. Moving on to standing committees, buildings and grounds. Mr. Maris, back to you.
Yeah, our last meeting, we talked to Mr. Bromersky, gave us an update on the high school project and how they've been able to cut costs. We had considerable discussion over that. We talked about lead water testing, which we said there's no reason to do that. And I think we have to every year get an estimate, and that's what we're going to continue doing. Mrs. James talked about the summer project update. I think a lot of things with concrete and paving were completed successfully, and they have started the fuel station project. She gave us some cool pictures of that. That's all I have.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Maris. Finance Committee, Mr. Wogelmuth.
Well, yeah, we discussed a couple contracts and they're on the agenda tonight for approval. And then also we had a few financial action items, and that concludes my report.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Wogelmuth. Education and Programs, Mrs. Johnston.
We did not meet in July, so nothing new to report. Our next meeting is August the 21st at 5 o'clock in this room.
Very good. Thank you, Mrs. Johnston. Policy, Personnel, and Legal, Mr. Keener, back to you.
Thank you, Mr. Wagner. Policy, Personnel, and Legal also did not meet in July. There was one second reading of board policy under other action items. We have a meeting scheduled for August 21st. There is currently nothing on the agenda, so I anticipate that we will move directly into the education and program portion of that meeting.
We do have things on our agenda.
Pardon me?
We will have some things on our agenda.
Yes.
Get things rolling for the school year. Yeah.
And we await those things with bated breath, Mrs. Johnson.
Oh, good.
Thank you.
Glad to hear it.
Very good. Thank you. Moving on to personnel action items. I'd like a motion to approve personnel action items 9B and 9C as presented, please.
So moved.
Mr. Keener first, second.
Second.
Mr. Wogomuth with a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Mr. Garber? All right, we have a yes. Motion carries 8-0. I also need a motion to approve personnel action items 9D as presented, please. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion, Mrs. Eshelman. Second?
I'll second.
Mrs. Brady with a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Mr. Keener?
Yeah,
Did you?
yeah.
It's all right. Very good.
Yeah.
Motion carries 8-0 as well. Buildings and grounds action items, there are none this evening, so I'll move ahead to financial action items. With that said, I'd like a motion, please, to approve financial action items 11B through 11J as presented. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
First by Mr. Wogomuth. Do I have a second, please?
Second.
Mrs. Johnson with a second. Any discussion?
It's a silly question, but I do have one quick question. There's 2 pizza contracts there. Which one are we approving? Are we approving one as a backup? Okay, Okay.
schools, just because of the volume.
that's what I figured, but I just want to clarify. Thank you.
And while we're talking about pizza, thank you, Mr. Walgamoon. I will take this opportunity to encourage both of those vendors to make sure that the product is hot when it is served, because I had that experience at one of our elementary buildings where it was anything but this year.
Oh, pizza's good, Grant.
You don't like cold pizza? We have to talk. Very good. So any other discussion? Very good. All in favor? Mr. Garber? In favor, motion passes 8-0. Moving to other action items. I'm looking for a motion to approve other action items 12B through 12H as presented, please, in your packets. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
So moved, Mr. Wogomuth. Do I have a second?
Second. I don't know.
Mr. Maris edged you out. We have Mr. Maris on the second. Do we have any discussion?
It has nothing to do with this, but I do want to say this is my favorite time of year when I hear the band starting to warm up outside. I can hear it from my house. It just makes me happy. So that's my discussion point.
I love the discussion for other action items. It does qualify for other action items. So thank you, Mrs. Brady. Anyone else? Very good. All in favor? Mr. Garber? And motion carries 8-0. I believe that is all we have for this evening.
Could I say something before we adjourn?
If you must.
Just
Mr.
want to
Brown.
put a plug in. We have our annual Hempfield High School Athletic Hall of Fame celebration on the evening of September 19th at 4:30 at the middle school. You're all welcome to attend. Mr. Bomerski usually attends. I think Mr. Keener attended last year. We have a couple teams and 5 individuals. I think it should be on the website here shortly. You're welcome to attend. It's a fun evening, and we celebrate Hempfield athletics. Just giving you a heads up. The next board meeting, it's only 7 days or 7 or 8 days, so I thought I'd give you a heads up if you're interested.
Perhaps there could be a reminder in board news as well.
Yep, it will be.
Thank you, Mr. Maris. Appreciate that. With that, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second.
Ooh, Mrs. Brady
Beat
beat
me
you
in
at
that
that time.
order.
So first, Mrs. Brady, second, Mr. Maris. Any discussion? All in favor? Mr. Garber? Very good. Motion passes 8-0. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you.